Do you ever feel like your workplace is a revolving door? People join, then they leave just as fast as they started. New faces show up, but before you've even had a chance to learn their name, they're gone. That's what we call labour turnover, and it's something that every business needs to keep an eye on. In simple terms, labour turnover refers to the percentage of employees who will leave the business within a certain time period. A little bit of labour turnover is normal and expected. People move away, they retire, they switch careers. But if too many employees are leaving, it could be a sign that there's an issue in the business. Let's have a quick look at how you calculate labour turnover. To calculate the labour turnover rate, you divide the number of staff that are leaving the business during the time period by the average number of staff that are employed during the same time period, and you multiply the answer by 100 to show it as a percentage. Let's put this into action with an example. Let's say a business has 200 employees on average and 30 of those leave within a year. Using the labour turnover formula, we would divide the 30 employees that leave the business by the 200 that are employed and multiply that by 100 to give us an answer of 15, which is always shown as a percentage when we use this formula. So, what does that number mean? What does 15% mean to the business? Well, a low turnover rate is typically fantastic news for a business. In general, the lower the percentage, the more positive it is for the business. It means employees are happy and they are sticking around. However, a high labour turnover rate can be a massive red flag for most businesses. It can often indicate the business has poor management, low employee morale, or a lack of career progression opportunities. But what percentage is deemed as being good or bad does vary from industry to industry, so it's important to compare them directly with competitors. Now, closer linked to this is labour retention. Basically, the flip side of turnover. Instead of measuring how many people leave the business, retention measures how many people stay with the business. To calculate the labour retention rate, you would divide the number of staff staying with the business during the time period by the average number of staff employed by the business during the same time period, and you would multiply the answer by 100. Let's put this into action with an example. Using the same scenario as before, if 170 employees stay with the business out of the 200 that were in post, then the calculation would be 170 divided by 200 multiplied by 100, which gives us a retention rate of 85%. And when it comes to labour retention, the higher the percentage, the better it is for the business. A high retention rate typically indicates a stable, satisfied workforce. A low retention rate, well, that's a warning sign for any business. It means businesses are struggling to keep their best people. So, why does this all matter? First of all, a high labour turnover rate can be very expensive for a business. Every time an employee leaves, the business must spend time and money recruiting and training a replacement, and this just slows everything down. Then there's productivity. Typically, experienced employees work faster and make fewer mistakes. If a business is constantly replacing its employees, it's losing valuable skills and knowledge. This also affects the morale of the workforce. If people keep leaving the business, the remaining employees may feel overworked and unmotivated. Even worse, they might start wondering if they should leave as well. And don't forget the impact that this has on customers. In industries like retail and hospitality, frequent staff changes can lead to inconsistent service. Customers notice that they're always dealing with someone new every time they shop with the business. So, on to the big question. How do businesses reduce labour turnover and increase retention? If someone isn't a good fit for the business, they won't stick around for long. A solid recruitment process helps the business to find employees who actually want to stay with the business long term. Then there's career growth. No one wants a dead-end job. Training, promotions and new challenges can make employees feel invested in the business's future. And let's not forget about workplace culture. Toxic environments drive people away. Good management, recognition, and open communication make a workplace where people want to stay. And of course, the amount of money that people get paid is a massive factor. If employees feel underpaid, they'll look elsewhere. Competitive salaries and benefits help to keep them loyal. Work-life balance is key too. Overworked, burnt out employees don't stay. Respecting personal time and offering flexible work options make a big difference. And finally, a little bit of recognition goes a long way. A simple thank you or a small reward can make employees feel appreciated and want to stay with the business, which ultimately means they're more likely to stick around. At the end of the day, turnover and retention tell the true story about how well a business treats its people. Businesses that invest in their people will see higher rates of retention, lower rates of turnover, and a more highly engaged and productive workforce.